Hello F1 and IndyCar fans, welcome to Formula Pun Racer, the channel where car racing and comedy collide. Today is April 11th. Before I get on with my review of the first three F1 rounds and the second IndyCar race, I like to pay homage to the late F1 team owner Eddie Jordan, who sadly passed away back on the 20th of March from prostate cancer. He was 76, and his team has now evolved into the Aston Martin F1 racing team. And right here is one of his many cars that his team raced with. This is the EJ13 Ford-powered car driven by Irishman Ralph Furman. 4 times the team under the Jordan F1 Racing would take victory. The first one was in the 1998 Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix in Belgium with Damon Hill in his final career F1 win. 2 more would be won by Heinz-Harald Frentzen of Germany in 1999, and then Giancarlo Fisichella took the team's final victory at the 2003 Brazilian Grand Prix. And unfortunately, Eddie couldn't handle the finances anymore and sold the team to Midlands for the 2006 season. Then in 2007, it evolved into Spiker. Then by 2018, the Silverstone-based squad would be known as the Force India team. But by 2018, Vijay Mallya, who owned Force India, gave it up to Racing Point, owned by Lawrence Stroll, which by 2021 has been the Aston Martin racing team ever since. And so, that's one thing. That's why you see this car here. And this car, well, hardly have anything to do with racing, but if you remember the 2008 version of Knight Rider, well, this is my homage to Val Kilmer, because for those who don't know, Val Kilmer was the voice of the Knight Industries 3000, which was this Ford Mustang shown here in the 2008 Knight Rider version with Justin Bruning and Deanna Russo and Bruce Davison, to name a few. As you probably heard, Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st due to pneumonia. He was 65. But also at the same time, former IndyCar driver and NASCAR team owner Shigeaki Hattori was killed last week in a road accident, and that's pretty unfortunate. He raced in the Indy 500 twice, finishing a 20th at best in 2002 and 30th in 2003. So, a salute to these people, please. Godspeed, Eddie Jordan, Val Kilmer, and Shigeaki Hattori. Now to get on with the first 3 F1 rounds of the season, which occurred in Australia, China, and Japan. In my opinion, I didn't think they were very eventful, especially because, if you're a fan of Aston Martin and Ferrari, which I am, there isn't much to report on. Considering the Australian Grand Prix was a wash, literally, as rain was a deciding factor in the whole race. Lando Norris of Team McLaren started on pole, and his teammate Oscar Piastri was second, to the delight of the locals. Unfortunately, before the race even started, the slippery conditions took out Racing Bulls driver Isaac Hadjar of France, and he was definitely in tears about this. Well, it was sporting of Lewis Hamilton's dad, Anthony, to console him while Lewis was in his first F1 race with Ferrari. And unfortunately, the rain played a factor in crashing out other drivers, such as Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin, and local driver Jack Doohan of Alpine Renault. Pretty heartbreaking. The slippery conditions also got the best of Oscar Piastri as he got on the grass and spun out. He was able to continue, but his chances of winning were over, to the heartbreak of the locals, giving the second place over to Max Verstappen, and that would be how Lando Norris would finish. Another victory for Team McLaren. For the first time, anyone but Max Verstappen would be leading the championship. China, well, the sprint race, which was before the race, a bit of luck would shine Lewis Hamilton's way as he won the Chinese Grand Prix sprint race. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, at the Australian Grand Prix, while it was Lando Norris and McLaren first, Red Bull's Max Verstappen second, and George Russell of Mercedes third, interestingly enough, Lance Stroll of Aston Martin finished 6th. ahead of the two Ferraris of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who respectively finished 8th and 10th. Who would have thought that at least what was once Jordan Grand Prix racing finished in the points in Eddie Jordan's last race before his passing? So it's nice to see his legacy lives on in some capacity by getting some points. As for the Chinese Grand Prix itself, Lewis Hamilton's sprint victory aside, it would unfortunately be a dud for Ferrari, as both the drivers were disqualified when one of their cars, skid blocks underneath the car, was worn down beyond the limit that allowed it to be worn when scraped against the bottom of the ground. And the other car was disqualified because it was a few kilograms underweight. This was a race won by Oscar Piastri, giving McLaren a strong lead in the manufacturer's title. But as for the Japanese Grand Prix, well, Max Verstappen of Red Bull's Honda took the pole and pretty much led away with it. And interestingly enough, there were no retirements in this race. All 20 drivers completed, but Lance Stroll of Aston Martin finished dead last in his Aston Martin, a lap down. And Fernando Alonso, his teammate, could only finish 11th. So, that's pretty much it. In other words, it wasn't really exciting to see, a race, hardly any passing, and, Max Verstappen ran away with this one. But it was pretty fitting because this is Red Bull's last year with Honda power, and a local victory for the Japanese manufacturer was in order, as Red Bull next year switches to Ford power plants. And anyway, to get on with the IndyCar round at the Thermal Club, which occurred between China and Japan, I could say that too was basically a snoozer because there wasn't much action going on in the race. But the biggest gripe I have with this isn't really much the coverage or the fact that it was hardly any crowds you could see on TV, but the fact that there was a technical difficulty covering the race. I mean, Fox has is the official broadcaster, and there was a glitch, and then it just switched over to NASCAR until they could get this problem switched. I mean, it was really killing the reins. I mean, what the...
This joke was too dirty to include.
Where's Marcus?
Marcus Ericsson unfortunately finished 21st, while Marcus Armstrong finished 7th. It is unfortunate that, technical difficulties aside, the race was pretty much a snooze fest, and they should have just simply raced at the Pocono Raceway. I don't care what people say about it being dangerous because, hello, aero screen, that should keep you safe, IndyCar drivers, so stop complaining about Pocono being dangerous because, hey, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is just as dangerous as Pocono, if not dangerous-er. All the same, I can say that the best action of the race occurred when Alex Palou and Christian Lundgaard were duking it out for second. And it was a battle that, in my opinion, kind of reminds me of the 1979 French Grand Prix in the infamous second-place battle between René Arnoux' Renault and Gilles Villeneuve's Ferrari, which the Ferrari would be victorious in, while Arnoux' French teammate Jean-Pierre Jabouille would win that race. So, vive la France! A 1-3 finish for French drivers in Renault. But anyway, eventually, Alex Palou was able to also get by Pato O'Ward and take the win. A back-to-back victory at Thermal Club and 2 races, 1 in a row for Alex Palou, who firmly leads the IndyCar Championship. The next round is this Sunday, April 13th, the infamous Acura Grand Prix at Long Beach. The second most popular IndyCar round of the season. Can Alex Palou make it a three-peat of IndyCar wins this season? And at the same time, in the hours before the Long Beach Grand Prix, Formula One revs up in the sandy desert of Bahrain. Who's going to win this one? Can Lando Norris maintain his championship lead, or will Max Verstappen be able to make it 5 championships in a row? Tune in to find out. Well, once again, I'm sorry this wasn't the best of videos because of I've been kept busy with a lot of things. Once again, Godspeed, Eddie Jordan, Val Kilmer, and Shigeaki Hattori. And if you like this video, please subscribe to Formula Pun Racer, where you don't have to be a racing fan to get a good laugh. And be sure to click the notification bell to be notified of future videos. In any case, good luck to all F1 drivers at Bahrain and IndyCar drivers at the Long Beach Grand Prix. And I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully the next one will be a better one. I'm Aaron's cylinder firing on all cylinders.